You're the one I want. Shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. That's right. I hate accidents, except when we went from friends to this. That's right, darling. You're the one I want.
Konnichiwa. Yokoso Freedom Friday. Watashiwa Dr. Jackson Akiva Dish, and I'm a confident, bold, inspiring, worthy leader. So thank you for joining me for Freedom Friday. It's been a month of Fridays since I've been here. So thank you for joining if you're here. If you want to know what the heck is Freedom Friday, Freedom Friday is a channel that I started a few years ago talking about my wellness journey. As I have been releasing the weight of the past to free up my future. And if you've been following me, you know that I've had a goal a few years ago to get to 252 pounds. And I have not made that goal. So what's been going on for me is just really just sharing my life. So if you're here today, thank you for joining. And so I just wanted to come in and just have a brief Freedom Friday because I've been recording some, not uploading for different reasons that I'm just going to say I haven't been doing it. So every Friday I'm like, let me post it, and I just don't. So I keep saying I'm going to keep posting, and I get in my own way. So this Freedom Friday, since it's been a minute since I came here, I just want to talk about my life, what's been going on with my life. So like I said, if you don't know who I am, and you're like, who is this lady? So I'm Nakiba, and I'm not a medical doctor, but my doctorate is in leadership. So one of the things that I've been doing, has been a part of my life, is leadership. So being the person who I say I am, and being the leader in my life, and just living my life and learning more about myself. So as I talk about freeing up the weight of the past, that's some of the things that's been going on with me in a leadership program that I started some years ago. It's a mindset makeover, and it's taught me different things on what to do about my mind. And as I was doing some of the work in the program, I ended up getting to many of my goals that I wanted to get to. I wanted to be able to travel freely around the world, and I wanted to be able to work in a place where I just had just freedom to do that, where I had a great work-life balance. And then I also wanted to lose some weight. And so I've been successful on all fronts. However, as I lost the weight, one of the things that I did not do successfully is keep the weight off. So here I am. So what's been going on for me for the past couple of years? Like I said, in the beginning of the program, I started doing things where I was working from home, and the life that I lived back then was a little different in terms of how I committed. Um, so as I started getting some more of my things that I wanted to do, it's like the best way I can say it. Some of the things I was doing was temporary, so it was towards a goal. And when you work towards a goal, sometimes what you find out is when you reach the goal, then what? And I think what's happened sometimes inside of our mind, we're getting to the what next. So what I want to share is my goal is really to live a healthy life, to be free of like medicines, um, and be able to walk freely, just to be able to walk freely without pain. So I shared a few years ago, um, when the group Escape got back together and started doing their tour. um, I went with my brother and his friend. We were in Atlanta, and we were walking, and I had so much pain going on. Like I had a lot of stuff going on. Like my foot had started bothering me, and then my knees was bothering me. And when I walked. I could hardly walk. I could hardly move without, like I felt like I needed to walk with a cane. And I can remember that night. It was New Year's Eve night, and the next morning it snowed. And I can remember we had got an Uber or a Lyft, and we parked. We got a good distance away from the venue, and getting away from the venue, I remember we had to walk, and I dreaded walking. Like when I say I dreaded walking because it was painful. It's like I had to think about where I was going to go, how long I was going to do the walk. And with all that said and done, um, I can remember my brother looking back at me, and I can remember the look on his face, like my poor sister. We're like 10 years apart, and so um, I can remember thinking, this is not going to be me. I'm going to get better. But in that moment, I felt like embarrassed. I felt dejected. And then even when we got to the venue, because my tickets were last minute tickets, I ended up getting nosebleed tickets. And I can remember walking all the way up to where my tickets, to my seats. And I walked on the wrong way. And so because I was having such issues with mobility, it was very hard for me to lift my leg up and go across. I dreaded walking up steps. I dreaded doing a lot of things. And so when I really stopped thinking about how I dreaded doing it, and I started moving beyond what I dreaded doing and versus what I wanted to do, eventually things changed. So I ended up attracting, people in my life that allowed me to work with myself where I was. And what that did was free up the opportunity for me to start getting my mobility back. And so, really, why am I bringing this up right now? Because one of the things that I'm learning since I've moved specifically, even though we have goals, if you don't meet your specific goal, the goal is just one aspect of your life. Um, it's really who you are on a regular basis. So, am I a goal or am I the person that I want to be? And so, what does getting to a goal means to me? So, I'll tell you honestly, when I first started the program years ago, I kept saying, I don't know what this weight looks like because I was never at a point where I was ever satisfied with my weight. The minute I knew to get on a scale, it was always trying to be something that I wasn't. And so, really, when I talk about getting to a goal, my goal still remains getting to a point where I'm healthy, mind, body, and spirit, where I continue to be able to balance my life. And when I say balance my life, like it's not a choice every day whether I'm healthy. I am healthy. And so, healthy to me means I'm eating foods that's fueling my body. I'm moving around and I'm continuing to just take care of myself. So some of the things that I've been doing specifically, I work out on a regular basis. Um, I'm also going to see like a chiropractor, and it's not really just a chiropractor. I go get like a massage to get my body taken care of. That was one of the things that I end up seeing. And so because I'm in Japan and they speak Japanese, it ended up being like a learning curve for me. And so I learned how to put information in the apps and communicate with them. And then when we get there, we communicate via the apps. I can understand a little, but not much. When my daughter would go with me, she would be able to do it. But what I will tell you, um, the habit is more important than the actual goal. Um, when you have something that you want to do, ask yourself, what does reaching that goal mean to you? So for me, I always bring it back to different things that I know that I wanted to do, that even though it might have taken a while, once I got to it, what it meant to me. So I remember years ago, um, when I was in high school, someone called me Dr. Granger. And I'm like, I don't want to be a doctor because all I saw in my mind was a medical doctor. But the thing was, that person saw something in me that I didn't see in myself or realize that was there. And years after that, when I went to school, I felt like I was going to be done because it was like, hey, I went to school to get a degree and get a job. Now I got the job. So what else do I need? And then something else happened to kind of get in my way to say, hey, if I didn't get this, then it could stop me from doing something else. And so one of the things that I know that I like in life is the freedom to do stuff and not liking the choices to be taken away from me. So um, when I worked on getting my degree, I wanted the ability to be flexible, to not have to focus on living in one area. So that's what happened. And so for me, as I continue to think about the journey that I'm on, and what I want to share with you. When you're on a journey, the journey is more important than the specific goal, because when you're on the journey, you pick up things along the way that allows you to discover who you really are. And when you discover who you really are, you get to see what do you like about yourself and what don't you like about yourself. And if there's things that you like, you hold on to them. If there's things that you don't, you let them go. So this Freedom Friday, I just wanted to stop in and say you're free to be able to continue to discover yourself on this journey. You're free to be able to release all of the strongholds that meeting a specific goal has on you, and you're free to just be the person that's the person who you think the goal might make you be. The goal doesn't define you, you define yourself. So hopefully you've at least stopped and listened in, and we'll talk later on. Bye.